Cumberland Island National Seashore is 36,000 acres with 18 miles of undeveloped beach.
This is the largest barrier island wilderness area on the East Coast. It's really unique to see an island that was saved from development like Cumberland.
The natural beauty of this place is unrivaled, but the place has a rich history as well.
I think a combination of the two just makes it a really strong entity just for preservation and conservation.
Cumberland Island is only accessible by boat. Because of that, and to minimize the impact on the place, a daily cap on the number of visitors is in place.
The limitation is 300 visitors. It's been that way since the enabling legislation of the park back in the 1970s.
Those who do visit are treated to an environment unlike any they've ever seen.
Intoxicating. I believe that's the only word that I can come up with.
I just love the way that, there's no cars really on the island. It's all in its natural state and it's just beautiful.
This place was once vastly different. The Carnegie family, which ruled the steel business at the turn of the 20th century, owned 90% of the island. It was a retreat for family and friends. Few others could access the place. There are still remnants of that era, including the ruins of Dungeness, the largest Carnegie home on the island.
One of the places that most symbolizes Cumberland Island.
Dungeness burned in 1959.
When it caught fire, it finally burned for 3 days.
At 24,000 square feet, Plum Orchard was a much smaller Carnegie family home, but it remains intact.
Plum Orchard is, for one, immediately overwhelming in its beauty, immediately overwhelming in its grandeur.
Visitors can tour Plum Orchard and get a taste of how the Carnegies lived.
It is a chance to preserve a little snapshot of that time period.
Not too far away, visitors can stay at the Grayfield Inn. It's another Carnegie home, still owned and operated by members of the family.
Over a century after the Carnegies arrived, there still is that real connection and attachment. When you're here, you're part of that island's history.
Grayfield provides high-end accommodations, but guests are encouraged to venture away from the inn.
This is a great starting point to get out, and explore the island.
It takes some work to get there, but miles to the north, the First African Baptist Church is worthy of exploration.
It is a small, humble, one-room church on the north end of Cumberland Island.
Some might recognize this as the spot where John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette got married in 1996.
That has become a bit of the island story.
The church is in the area known as the Settlement, an African-American community established in the late 1800s.
Some of these folks born into slavery, some of these folks here since emancipation were able to own their first pieces of property.
Most of the northern end of Cumberland Island is federally designated wilderness, thousands of acres where activity is strictly limited, with much of it foot traffic only.
A lot of buzzwords you hear, solitude, pristineness, when you hear people talk about wilderness, but it truly does offer that to the people that are willing to explore.
There are 50 miles of trails on the island.
Sometimes we'll spend the whole day hiking trails and not see a single person.
The Georgia Conservancy, helped by a grant from REI, is working to make the trail system even better.
There's so much beauty out here on the island, and we want more hikers to access these points.
Part of the effort is to ensure that trails are in good shape.
We've cleared 21 miles of trail so far.
A detailed wilderness backcountry map that can be downloaded for free to smartphones is also being developed.
We're waypointing every trail intersection, campground, different features on the island.
The idea is to give people confidence to hike.
I think that'll be a great resource for people.
There's plenty of wildlife on Cumberland Island, with the most popular among visitors being the herd of wild horses.
The current population of horses is probably more related to the introductions by the Carnegie family.
A stable population between 150 and 170 horses allows the Park Service to take a hands-off approach to the herd.
We're probably one of the last remaining Atlantic coast herds that does no management at all.
Cumberland Island offers a great deal. The daily limit on the number of visitors, though, means competition to access the island at times is intense.
Planning ahead is crucial.